Hey everyone, it's Willow, and this week I don't have much of a video. It's more of an explainer video of what's going on, and I don't have much to say, so it's pretty much going to explain itself.
You may remember in a previous video where I took a DNA test and talked about meeting my birth parents. I spat in a tube, I shook it up with some chemicals, I put it in a box and shipped it off to a lab where my DNA was analyzed. After a few months of them analyzing it, I finally got a notification from Ancestry.com, and it came with some shocking news. And here's a TikTok I made about it. Hey everyone, it's Willow, and for 30-something years, I've told people I'm Irish. Maybe it's my red hair. I even owned an Irish flag, and I recently did an Ancestry DNA test, and much to my surprise, drumroll please, 31% Portuguese. And actually, Irish wasn't even listed, not even 1%. What? I'm re-guessing my whole life. So, my whole life, I was told I was Irish. Just because of what my birth mother had put on the closed adoption papers. It's a misconception that people with red hair are all Irish. I'm actually 31% Portuguese and 17% Scottish, among other things. I always wondered what my birth family looked like. The adoption papers also listed 5 siblings. I didn't know if any of it was true, though. Upon further exploring the results, there was also a DNA match. Now, I've blurred out the name in the picture for their privacy, but she was a 23% match. That was my closest match, and the only one with close family status. She also had a tree that could possibly offer insight into my family. 23% can mean anything from grandmother to half-sibling. We'll call this person D to keep track of the story. I also found someone listed as a second or third cousin with a 4% DNA match that had a really large family tree and it matched up with D's on one branch. We'll call this person Allie. I messaged both D and Allie to see if one would respond. Hey, I just did a DNA test and it said you were a close match, so I figured I would send a little bit about myself. My name is Willow, I'm 31, I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I was adopted, so I don't know much about my family. Apparently on my mother's side, my mom had 1 brother and 4 sisters. My parents had 3 girls and 1 boy. In 1990, I know the 3 girls were age 7, 6, and 2. The boy was age 3. My birth mother was 23 at the time. Also, a little info I'm a bit scared to include, but will for the sake of explaining, I'm trans and use she, her pronouns. I was assigned male at birth, but I came out a couple years ago, and as for my birth father, there wasn't much info on him, so there are still a lot of mysteries. The only info I have is a little blurb my mother put on the adoption papers about him. 27 years old, 5'6", I'm assuming feet, large build, and light brown hair with light brown eyes. You're a very close match on here, and I'm not sure what that means, but thanks for reading, and I hope we find out more. It only took 30 minutes for Allie to respond. Allie and I added each other on Facebook and then started searching. We figured out that Allie's mom was my half-cousin. Upon closer inspection of the DNA results, both Allie and I realized that D is my half-sibling, and we both had the same mother. We now knew who my mother was. In this video, we'll call her Natalie. She had 10 children, and her husband didn't know about me. And the only reason I put that in there is because this is kind of important for the next part of the video. I sent Natalie a Facebook message explaining how I found her and how I found out who she was. And she apologized and said, "I'm sorry, I don't know who you are." This was very disheartening despite all of the evidence we had found that proved otherwise. Then I got a message from Allie. One of your siblings wants to talk to you. Would you like to add them? Absolutely. Then I got a friend request from someone we'll call Paula. Hi, I'm Paula, your half-sister. I was raised by our grandma Judy, but we have the same mom. Judy always talked about there being a 10th sibling who was adopted out in 1990. And Paula wasn't the only one who said that, because she also introduced me to two of my other siblings who said the same thing as well. Grandma had always talked about you. I asked Paula why Natalie would lie. The reason Natalie isn't admitting anything is her husband would get mad. You're the second sibling to come out of nowhere. He wasn't happy about the first time, and he's definitely not going to be happy this time. I thought about this for a bit, and it made me a little sad, but at the same time, I didn't want to break up a marriage. I just wanted her to know that I exist and that I'm thankful for all the opportunities she gave me. So I wrote her that in a final message and I sent it to her. And then she blocked me on Facebook. I'm okay with this closure. I was just happy seeing her face and knowing she existed. Plus, I was now talking to 3 of my siblings who helped me fill out a bit more of my family tree. From my grandma Judy to my mom and her siblings to my half-cousin who would eventually have Allie, who helped me get this whole thing started. And then there was my mom, who had all my siblings and, of course, me. And while I knew all this, one question still remained. Who's my birth father? I have an amazing search angel named Tracy helping me out. She's been helping me look for my birth father. As of right now, we have a couple leads we're going off of, and I'll keep you updated if anything else happens. Also, my boyfriend Caden has been working on art lately, and definitely check out his Instagram because there's some new artworks going up there, as well as on my channel there will be some new art videos coming up soon. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel if you're not already, and if you haven't already liked this video, it lets me know you've watched it all the way through. Also coming later this week, I'll be releasing a snowy office video, the one you're seeing here in the background, all 30 minutes of it, and some relaxing music. You can play it in the background while you meditate, or read a book, or whatever you find relaxing. I also have the daytime snow video if you want to check that out. I'll include a link in this video and below in the description. I hope you enjoyed this week's video, and maybe you're encouraged to go get an ancestry test yourself, because the more people that do this, the more people we can connect. I'm Willow, and I'll see you next week.